Hey guys, it's time for your music special today. So, we're going to review tone color today very quickly, and then I'm going to introduce a brand new piece to you today, and we're going to discuss a new topic called form. So, going back to the two pieces that we listened to last week, Vivaldi's Spring from his larger work called Four Seasons features the instruments from the string family. Here, I'm trying to make my camera a little bit smaller. So remember, tone color just has to do with the quality of sound. And depending on how an instrument is played or the material that it's made out of, affects the quality of the sound. Remember, say a flute would have a different tone color than a big double bass from the string family, right? A flute is small and it's made of metal. We blow air into it to create sound. It's in the woodwind family, has that bright, airy sound, almost like a bird. If I were to compare it to a color, I would say a flute has a yellow tone color because it's bright and cheerful, whereas a really large string bass from the string family, it's the largest one that you have to stand up to play. It has a really deep tone color. Like, what would be a deep color? Maybe like a maroon or a really deep purple. Or a deep indigo color. It's warm, it's inviting, but it's deep because it's so large and it can play really low. Its tone coloring is affected by the wood that it's made of and the strings that are used to play it, right? It's not a wind instrument, it's not made of metal. Therefore, its quality of sound or tone color is going to be very different than, say, the tone coloring of a flute. Okay, those are just two comparisons. So, spring. The tone coloring that we're hearing here is the tone coloring from the string family of instruments. This was written by an Italian composer whose last name was, do you remember? Vivaldi, say Vivaldi. And he wrote a larger work written for instruments in the string family called Four Seasons. It's one of his most famous works. And each of the four seasons are represented in this work. So there are four different sections or movements that are each supposed to sound like a season. And the one that we focused our attention on last week was the spring movement. It's my favorite, and it happens to be springtime right now. And we needed to review the string family of instruments anyway. So this was a perfect fit. So let's listen for just a moment to Vivaldi's Four Seasons, the spring movement, and we're listening to the tone coloring of the string family of instruments. So think violin, viola, cello, double bass. Those are the main four instruments in the string family. You can pat a steady beat or conduct. Out, in, out, in. Sounds very elegant, cheerful. Okay, great. So that is Vivaldi's Spring. We're listening to the string family. The string family of instruments, to me, if I were to designate a color, I would say they are maybe a cool color, something that looks elegant, maybe like a violet or an indigo or something in the blue family. They just have this warm and inviting, almost elegant or stately sound. Okay, let's go ahead now and move on to comparing it to another spring piece of music written by a different composer. Remember, we compared two pieces of music that both had to do with the spring season. And the other piece that we listened to was called Appalachian Spring. Okay. And Appalachian Spring was written by a famous American composer, and his name Does anybody remember? It's on the screen right now. Aaron Copland, famous American musician. In this one, I love it because we're hearing tone colors from the entire orchestra. So if you think of a rainbow, right, how all of the colors have their own unique quality, so do all of the instruments in the orchestra. They all have their own unique quality, their own unique sound. That's what we call tone color. So Appalachian Spring by Aaron Copland is like a beautiful rainbow of sound because we're hearing tone colors from the string family, from the percussion family, the woodwind family, and the brass family. So I'm going to drag this cursor forward to the end so that we can hear all of those tone colors, because this is when all the orchestra plays together at the same time. Not quite yet. There we go. Hear how it just sounds like there's more going on than in the other piece we listened to where it was just the string family? This has like a well-rounded sound. We have bright, we have dark, we have right in the middle. High sounds, low sounds, and everything in between. Okay, so that's a great example of the entire rainbow, so to speak, of orchestral tone color, because we're hearing every family of instruments play together. All right, so moving on, I want to introduce to you today the concept of form in music. So pieces of music have different sections sometimes, and we label each section with a different letter, usually letters like A, B, or C. And we use these letters to identify sections of music so that we can understand the structure of the piece of music as we listen to it. Sometimes a section is introduced and we call that the A section, but then the music changes and we hear a new idea being introduced. And so we can tell that the A section has ended and something new has begun. And so then we would call that new material the B section. Then sometimes we might hear a repeat of the A section, and sometimes we might hear a repeat of the B section, or sometimes we might hear something brand new. And we wouldn't call that A or B. We would designate a new letter for a brand new section of material, and we could call that the C section. So this piece is a piece by a new musician, or a new composer, excuse me, that we have not met yet. And he was from the country of Austria. His name is Johann Strauss. Okay, he lived in the 1800s. From Austria, that's in Europe, it's right by Germany, and he was known for writing waltzes. Okay, now this piece we're going to listen to is a great example of form, because we're only going to hear an A section and a B section, but we're going to hear the A section return to the end to create something that we call ABA form. And that's one of the most common forms that we hear in the structure of music. So let's listen to Strauss's Radetzky March. You'll see ABA at the top in our fun little cartoon conductor. The audience is back here in purple, and then the orchestra is here with their backs to us. So for the A section, what I would like for you to do is to either clap or pat a steady beat. But then when we hear the new idea, when the music changes and we're getting into the B section of this piece, I would like for you to either sway to the beat or conduct out, in, and I'll do it with you. Okay. So A section, we're patting or clapping the steady beat. B section, we're going to sway or conduct the steady beat. Okay, so keeping the steady beat the whole time is really the most important. And then listening to hear the difference between the A section and the B section, and then when the A section returns. Here we go. So we're clap. And the audience is clapping with us. I like it. Oh, now it's loud. Forte. This is the A section. All of this goes together. Oh, now the music has changed. We hear some new ideas. This is the B section, new material. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? This is the return of what we heard in the beginning. We have returned back to the A section. Okay, see how that works? So when the first musical idea is introduced, we're going to assign a letter to that and call that the A section. Then when a different idea is introduced and the music has a different sound, we assign a different letter to that section. And in this case, we're going to call it the B section. Now, I love how towards the end of the piece, we hear the return of the A section, creating a nice little bookend, a nice structure to Strauss's Radetzky March called ABA form. So form is just a way that we can assign letters or words to different musical ideas to understand the structure of a piece. All right, so I have another song by our composer of the day that I would like for you to listen to after this. I will attach another video for that piece. It is also by Johann Strauss. It's a really fun piece that I think you'll enjoy called Tritsch Tratsch Polka. And so I'd like for you to listen to that. And then I'm also going to attach a third video for you to watch just for your enjoyment to celebrate Star Wars for May the 4th, right? On May 4th, in just a couple of days, a lot of people like to celebrate Star Wars. May the 4th be with you. So please enjoy Cello Wars by two of my favorite musicians called the Piano Guys. I hope you guys learned a lot about form today and enjoy listening to another piece by Johann Strauss and have fun listening and celebrating May the 4th be with you with our Cello Wars video. Bye guys, have a great rest of your day.